Welcome guys, thank you for coming back to my channel. As you can see, today we are doing a St. Patty's Day look. This is very dramatic, very in your face, very colorful and vibrant, and very green. So if you guys are wanting to get to know how to do this look, so if you'd like, sit down, grab a bag of popcorn and some soda or a beer, whatever you prefer, and let's continue watching, guys. Okay, so for today's eyebrows, I'm gonna go back to my OG, my Anastasia dip brow. Lately, my eyebrows have been really playing games with me. I'm gonna go back to my dip brow by Anastasia, and it's in the color blonde. And then next, we're just gonna go in with some Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in Fair Neutral, and we're gonna clean these bad boys up. Okay, so like always, I'm just gonna take my MAC Paint Pot in Solid Ochre, and I am going to prime my eyelids. Now that we have that all set, I'm going to go ahead and go in with a transition shade. I am going to keep it neutral on this just because I am going to be doing a green eyeshadow look. Firstly, what I'm going to do, nothing new, I'm going to go in with my trustworthy the Too Faced The Power of Makeup by Nikki Tutorials to go ahead in with that color Ivy and highlight the Z brow bone. So next, we're going to pick up a blending brush, a fluffy one. I'm using the Morphe E27, and I'm going to pick up probably the same color I used in that last video, which is Silk Cream. Then after we're done with that, I'm going to go ahead and take a more dense like blending brush. This is a MAC 217. I'm going to take Butter in the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I am just going to buff that in my crease to give it a little bit more depth. That color didn't give me really the vibe I was going for. It's a very pretty color, don't get me wrong, but I did want a little bit more deeper brown, so I am going to go in with that Pooter shade. So I am going to, I actually thought I didn't have a darker green shade, and I was about to like flip my shit because I practically have like every damn color you could possibly think of. But this Jaclyn Hill palette does have one, and it's called Enchanted, and it's the middle guy on the bottom row. And if you don't think if you think it looks like harsh, and just keep blending. If you keep blending, the colors will all come together, I promise. Okay, so now we are going to cut our crease, and I'm going to do this off camera because the last time I tried to do this on camera, it was really, really hard for me to do, and I ended up messing up and having to redo my whole makeup look. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this off camera, and then I will be back. Okay, so this cut crease is as good as it's gonna get. I kind of lost my touch for like cutting the crease. I used to be like so hardcore and just to be so good at it. Now I've lost my touch, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna do this shade right here. It is the Buzo in the Magic by Juvia's Place palette, and I am just going to take that. I'm gonna take that with a brush since it is a cut crease. With the rate I'm going right now, if I do it with my finger, I'm gonna mess up this whole damn look, and I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to give myself anxiety right now, you know? So I'm going to take that, and this is a Makeup Addiction brush. I've had this brush probably about 8 years, and it's called the Shader. It's when they very first came out. And this green color is super pigmented, you guys. Ooh, but Now what I am going to do is I'm going to put a pop of like a lighter green, kind of like in the inner corner, flowing into the center of the lid. So now I'm going to take, this is like a very lime green shade. It's called Fizz, it's by ColourPop. And I've had this color, you might not want to disclose that. I've had it forever, and it is just a very lime green color. Okay, so I am going to do eyeliner. I changed my mind. I'm going to do that off camera and then I'll be right back. Okay, so now that we have somewhat of a base to lay our lashes on, I'm going to go ahead and pop some Salon Perfect Go Glam in the number 614. I'm a makeup artist, so I buy the multi-packs. But first, I almost forgot I need to put mascara on first. So I am going to use my Bad Gal Bang by Benefit mascara. If you don't have lashes, this is the mascara to get. So right now, we're gonna do foundation, but I'm gonna prime my face first, and then we can get on to the show. And for today's foundation, I'm just gonna be using my MAC Studio Fix, and the same, still my go-to, is my Laura Mercier Chemical Fusion. And you can tell how this color is not my foundation color, so that's why I go in with the Laura Mercier to lighten it up, so that way I don't look like Donald Trump. And now I'm just gonna take my Morphe G2 brush. It's actually like a beauty blender on a stick, but I'm gonna use this to pack it in my skin. So before I go in and set, I'm gonna go in with my trusty Bye Bye Under Eye by It Cosmetics. This thing has been through hell and back with me. So what I do is I just put some on my finger, and then you don't need a lot of this stuff. This stuff goes like, it's not like any other concealer. I think I actually just squirted way too much on my fingers, but I just dab it under my eyes. And this is like actually probably as close to my skin tone as we can get, which is okay because I don't want too bright of an under eye today, because the bright ass green, I'm not trying to, you know, really hit you guys with that kind of shit. And I'm gonna go back in with that same Morphe G2 brush that I use for my foundation packing, and I'm just gonna pack this under my eye. So now I'm just gonna take my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, and I'm going to take a dampened beauty blender, and I'm going to set my under eyes. So I am gonna dust that away right away, and I'm just gonna go in with my, if I can get it, my Morphe M438 brush. And now I'm just gonna to set my face, I'm gonna take my NC20 Studio Fix, MAC Studio Fix and NC20, the powder, and just set my face using, it's a Sephora brush. I think I got confused on the last one too. It's like a packing brush. It's actually not a packing brush. It's a mineral brush, like used for mineral foundation, but I use it for this. Now I'm going to go in with the Chocolate Soleil from Too Faced, and I'm going to go ahead and carve out my cheekbones with this. And I'm also gonna bronze my forehead with this as well. And this is the Morphe E33 brush. And now to get, to make it not so detailed and not make it look like a square, I've noticed that I've been doing that a lot lately because I have been using the fan brush. I'm going to take the Morphe M110 brush and I'm just gonna bronze up my forehead just a little bit. Not a little bit, we're lying a lot because I got a big ass forehead. Okay, so now that we got that all squared away, we're gonna go in with our blush. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go in with the highlighter first. I finally got my hand on this bad boy. It is Precious Petals by Wet n Wild. These are $5 highlighters. These highlighters I have heard are just the shit, and I swatched it and I was like, ooh. I'm just gonna take a Morphe M513 brush. It's like a blending brush, but I wanted to focus more here versus crazy like I usually do. Oh, wow. Wow, this actually really goes good with my skin tone. Swirl that bad boy in there a little bit more. Alright, so now for the blush. This is a limited edition item from MAC. I got it, I swear, I got it like 12, 11 years ago. It's really bad, I know. I should throw this shit away, but I can't because it's like my go-to blush. So now I'm just gonna take an e.l.f. This is actually a highlighter brush, which I should have freaking used this for a highlighter, but it's an e.l.f. brush. Okay, so to finish off the under the eyes, we're gonna go in under the eyes, and we are going to use the first transition shade that we use, which is Silk Clim out of the Jaclyn Hill palette. We're just gonna run that along our Ultima lash line. And then after that, I'm gonna go in with the Puder color. And then now I'm gonna take that Enchanted color. Okay, so since I'm feeling a little extra today, I'm going to take that green, the lighter green color, and I'm going to slightly dab it on my inner corner. Just gonna go in with the shade Beam in the Jaclyn Hill palette and take that right in the corner of my eye to give it a little highlight. And this is a Morphe M430 brush. It's a small tapered stippling brush. I'm gonna actually add some of this, a little bit of this green on top of this, just to see how it goes on the inner corner highlight, because I'm really curious to know. And for today's lipstick, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in the shade Hudson, and I'm going to be using the NYX lip liner in Mauve. And to finish it off, we are going to use the MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus. Alright guys, so that is it for today's look. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I know this is not everybody's cup of tea. I know this isn't everybody's go-to, especially even for St. Patty's Day, but it does give you an option. I wanted to do something completely different and back to my original comfort zone, because I have not done a colorful look in a very long time. So I felt it was only necessary that St. Patrick's Day is coming up on Saturday, and I wanted to do something colorful. But I do thank you guys for tuning in to today's video. Please like and subscribe, and while you're at it, go ahead and hit that notification bell so that way you are notified when I post a video. And I will see you guys on my next tutorial. Bye guys!